For this month's episode of Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter, Captain Rigelow and Pat Norton from Kempsville Building Materials review technology in windows and how to get out of an entrapment situation behind one of these windows. Master Firefighter Mark Huntley and Captain Joe Baraki review the new piston intake and new monitors on the new engines. They also go over a drafting problem and solution that Engine 2 had experienced. And in the final segment of this month's Frontline Firefighter, we go through exercise safety with Herb West and Master Firefighter Mark Huntley. I'm retired Master Firefighter Tom Parks, and you're watching Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter. Here's your host, Virginia Beach Public Information Officer Art Kahn.
Hi, I'm Art Kahn, and welcome to this month's edition of Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter. You know, as a homeowner, you want your house to be as secure as possible, secure against theft and severe weather. However, for firefighters, enhanced safety features on some of today's better windows can create additional hazards. Unlike their older counterparts, today's windows are tougher to break and in some cases even more difficult to fully open. This can create challenges for a firefighter trying to vent a structure or, more importantly, trying to escape a raging house fire. In our first segment, Captain John Rigelow, along with Pat Norton from Kempsville Building Materials, examined the new technology and the challenges that it can pose to firefighters.
Hello, I'm Captain John Rigelow, the Battalion 2 on A shift. On this segment of Frontline Firefighter, we have Pat Norton from Kempsville Building Materials here. Pat brought with him a number of windows and doors that are new technology windows and doors that we're seeing used more and more on particularly high-end homes.
Mike Carter asked me to come speak today about some of the new technology in windows and doors, some of the technology that they're going to be facing on the coast. And part of that is this window here, the Stormwatch window by Anderson. It's a window that's been developed to help mitigate the impact of objects, foreign materials into the glass to keep the window intact. And what it's done is it's caused another problem in itself, that when the glass doesn't break, if a fireman's trapped inside a building, they will not be able to break the glass to get out. So it's laminated with a poly layer. It's similar to windshield glass, but it's much thinner windshield glass. You could hit this with 2x4s, patio furniture, an axe, and it will continue to take the impact. What it will not do is ultimately give to generate a hole for someone to crawl out of. So what we're talking about today is what are the other options? Maybe lifting the glass, pulling the sash out, forcing the sash open to try to pry it out, cutting a hole in the wall to the side to get out. There's several things that they can do differently, but generally what happens is that piece of glass over there is a normal window. This is an impact glass that is not made to break. So they're going to find themselves generally in a hurry to get out, and it's not going to behave like it used to.
For today's drill, Kempsville Building Materials supplied a number of windows for us. This is a typical double hung window that you'll find in most building construction or most residential building construction. Vinyl frame window, single pane glass, sometimes double paned, but in this case just a very inexpensive single pane double hung window. Very easy for us to force entry, and again, more importantly, force exit. Simply take your tool, strike it, and the glass is going to fail. These are vinyl sashes that are in here, or vinyl mullions that are in here. They can be knocked out very easily, and you're in or out as needed. So another window that was supplied to us for this training today is a window here by the Silver Line, called the Silver Line by Anderson Windows. You may find windows like this along the coast, maybe in some residential high-rises, on some of the neighborhoods, again on the water where the wind's unobstructed and it's going to hit the structure with great force. What this window, and as you can see it's broken, is designed to do is withstand impact. We've all seen the Weather Channel where they take the 2x4 and they shoot it out of a cannon, if you will, and it strikes the window and shoots right through or goes right through a block wall. This window is designed to withstand those forces. Again, the goal is that the window can't fail and allow the wind to go into the structure and cause that umbrella effect on the structure. In this case, the guys on Ladder 7 and Rescue 2, and of course Engine 7, have already tried to force this, and they've broken it a number of times and tried a number of different ways to break this, but you can still see, even though it's fractured, there's still glass in there that's stopping the wind from going into the structure and causing damage. Of course, this will stop bad guys from getting in as well. The bad part for us is, as firefighters trying to force entry, it may slow us down forcing entry, but a critical concern though is forcible exit. We're in the structure, we're operating, something goes wrong, you need to get out. You come to the window, you break the glass, and hey, you can't break it, so now you can't get out. You got some options. One would be, if the conditions permit, you can maybe stand up, open the window, and just go out normally. But you're just not going to break this, so you're going to have some composure. Some concern also in some higher crime areas, or maybe in areas where the folks have children, they'll put dowel rods in the window so they can't be opened unless an adult removes the dowel rods. Well, in the smoke and obscured vision, you're not going to be able to see those things put in place to stop you from getting out. So windows like this pose a hazard to firefighters operating inside. This is where the RIT companies come into play. If these windows are identified in the structure, they may go around and force these ahead of time so that's not a problem for the firefighters operating inside the structure. That concludes this segment of Frontline Firefighter. If you have any questions or comments, please contact me. My information is listed below.
Earlier this past year, Engine 2 experienced a problem no one ever wants to have with their truck when drafting. In this next segment, Master Firefighter Mark Hunley, along with Captain Joe Baraki, review this problem with the drafting and how the apparatus committee was able to find and fix the problem. Also included in this segment is a look at the new piston intakes and monitors now on the engines.
Hello, Master Firefighter Mark Hunley here with this episode of Rags to Wrenches. Today we're going to talk about the new piston intake. We're going to talk about the new monitor that we have on the engines, and also we're going to talk about some drafting issues that we've had. We're going to have Engine 2 here with us to give us a hand with that.
Today we're going to talk about the TFT SafeTac 1250. It's a new portable monitor we have on the new engines. It's got a couple different features that we're going to show you here. Joe, if you want to pick it up here. The first change you'll see on this monitor, it does not have a chain. It's got a piece of webbing. If you want to pull it out there. The webbing sits inside of the base here, and it has a beaner on the side that you need to clip to the monitor base here. So once you connect the webbing to the base here, you walk it out and you place it over your spike. All right. Another feature on this this monitor is there's a safety shut-off feature right here. If this was to get out of control and get knocked over, it's going to reduce the flow down considerably so it doesn't hurt anybody. And he'll show you here how to connect the base to the side there. So you press that lever down to connect it. Another new piece of equipment on the new engines is this TFT piston intake valve. And what had happened was we had a fire with the company non before we got this truck, and we went to shut down the 5-inch and drain it after the fire. And everybody from Engine 2 here didn't have any idea how to drain the intake valve. So if you look closely here on this tube that comes out that drains the water and the air, there's an on-off switch right here. It's a little different from our old piston intake valves where you had the turn knob on the top here. So that's a little different here to drain the air out and to shut the water down after the fire. And then to open up the valve is just a real simple turn knob right here.
So the apparatus committee received an email from Captain Joe Baraki on Engine 2 about a drafting issue they were having during a drill. We got together at the training center, talked about it, ran through the problem, and this is what we discovered. So if you notice on your engine, the piping that goes to the front suction takes a few turns, dips, ups and downs. The problem we're having is that the air primer made by Trident is not evacuating enough air from the system to lower the pressure inside the pump to allow the water to flow back into the pump. So the fix we found was actually opening up a discharge to allow us to evacuate the air from the system, either using the front bumper line or the tank foot. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Racks and Wrenches. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact the address below.
In the fire service, physical fitness isn't just a personal goal, it's a requirement. In fact, it's one of the 5 tenets of the Virginia Beach Fire Department. But exercise can be dangerous when not done properly. In our final segment, Herb West reviews proper exercise techniques with Master Firefighter Mark Hunley.
I'm Herb West, Fitness Coordinator for the Virginia Beach Fire Department, and today we're going to be going over some exercise tips for safe exercise with Master Firefighter Mark Hunley. Tips for exercise safety. Always warm up. 5 minutes on a piece of cardio equipment may not be enough. Movement skills should be included in the warm-up. The skills should relate to the activity you're about to start. Examples would be air squats, walking lunges, arm reaches, and arm circles. The amount of time spent on a warm-up is related to the activity you are about to engage in. The more intense the activity, the longer the warm-up. Your workout should match your skill level. Don't work out at someone else's skill level. Select exercises that you can do properly and weights that allow you to have correct form. Select exercises that you have the mobility and stability to do correctly. Example, if you cannot bend over and touch your toes comfortably, then you should not be doing heavy deadlifts. Rather, you should be working on a posterior chain movement skill. Use a spotter when appropriate to the exercise. Don't get injured or embarrassed by getting caught under the bar. Use the Olympic bar collars to avoid an accidental offload. If one side of the bar dips and the plates fall off, this creates a catapult action in the opposite direction, which could result in a serious injury to yourself or another person. Fatigue tells you when to stop. Most injuries in a football game happen in the fourth quarter because the players are fatigued and lose agility. The same is true with exercise. When you are fatigued, you lose form, and when you lose form, you are more likely to sustain an injury. Remember, the heavier the weight and the more the reps, the more the chance of injury. Get adequate rest between exercises and between sets. The more weight you are using, the lower the reps and the more rest you need to get the benefits of lifting heavy. Rest between the workouts should be long enough that you do not have residual soreness and feel the energy to attack a new workout. I hope you enjoyed what we went over today, and if you have any questions, please just follow up, give me a holler. I'll be glad to talk to you about it.
Well, that's going to do it for this month's edition of Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter. As always, we remind you, if you have any ideas for future programs, please send them to Kirk Kellerhals at the information you see on the screen. Also, remember to like us on Facebook, watch us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. For Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter, I'm Art Kahn.